Shavua Tov, welcome to the weekly mitzvah. This week in the weekly mitzvah we're going to talk about oaths in the Darim. Now neder, and the way that we're going to describe it, is when I prohibit myself from doing a particular act, even though halachically it's permitted, or I make that I will do a particular act, even though there's no halachic mandate to do so. So for example, if I want to really stick to my diet, so I say I'm taking a neder, I will never eat chocolate cake. Now, if I eat chocolate cake from this point onwards, it is halachically the same as eating pork, or at least similar to eating pork. It's prohibited. And so too, when I make a neder that I'm going to do something, that if I don't do it, it's almost that I've not fulfilled the positive mitzvah. Now, often people, when they make promises, what they'll do is they'll say, I promise I will do something. I'll meet you at 3 o'clock, bli neder. Bli neder in that context means without oath, that I'm planning to, I want to, I promise to, but should I not, I don't want to have transgressed a negative prohibition of breaking my vow. Now the place where this comes up the most, because most of the time when we make promises, we don't have in mind to take on an oath. But where it does have binding effect is what we call minhag, custom. That when a community does something, a few times, it becomes the minhag, it becomes a custom, and the binding notion of a minhag, of a custom, is that it is a neder, it is a communal oath, or a personal oath. So let's say, if you're a single boy, and you want to wear a talis, even though halachically perhaps you don't have to wear a talis, and you wear a talis, and you keep wearing a talis, then at the age of 19, you decide, I don't want to wear a talis anymore. You have to wear a talis. Because you've made, by your actions, it's the equivalent of having made an oath that you're going to wear a talis every time you daven. And the same would be with all the other minhagim. So Ashkenazim not eating kitniot, that we don't have rice over Pesach. You can't just stop the minhag because it's a binding oath on the community. And in order to get rid of this neder, that oath that we make, is quite a complex ordeal. So either you've got to do one, is what's called a petach, that we find a solution that had you known the real ramifications, you would not have made the oath, or it can be annulled by various chachamim. But one way or another, it's very, very tricky. So we try to make sure that we don't make oaths at all. And so therefore many people say bli neder, and that's one way to get out of it. But even if you don't, it's hard to believe that you make a neder. But if you are going to do a practice, so just say you keep 3 hours between meat and milk, and you decide you're going to try to keep 6 hours of meat and milk, there when you try to keep the 6 hours, you need to make sure that you do the bli neder, because if you do it a few times, it's going to be binding, and then you stuck with the 6 hours, whatever the case might be. Hope that was interesting to you. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. Shavua Tov.